I'm so glad that you are here joining me for this lesson where we will combine some physical education with some math and even science all at the same time. I'm excited. Now, our lesson today is focusing on heart rate. This lesson can be for kindergarten all the way through 12th grade. It is important for all of us, even adults. You can get involved as well. So, first off, what is heart rate? Does anyone know what heart rate is? Heart rate is the amount of times our heart beats every minute. And before we get started, does anyone know why it is even important to know what our heart rate is? Who cares? Well, there are a few reasons, and I'll go over a couple right now. For one, knowing your heart rate at rest, meaning when you're just standing or sitting, not moving much, can be a good indication of your overall health. In general, the lower the better. Now, a second way it's really important is when you are moving, if you can get your heart rate during your activity or right after, you can get an idea of how hard you are working. And that's what we're going to test today in our little heart rate experiment. So here's how it's going to work. We are going to take our resting heart rate first, then we're going to do 3 exercises, and after each one, for 30 seconds, we are going to take our heart rate. Now, after we take all of our heart rates, we're going to see which exercise we had the highest heart rate for. So here's what you need. You need to have your own space to be able to do some exercise. It doesn't have to be super big like the gym, but just some area where you can do some movement. And you need a paper and pencil. I want you to write 1, 2, 3, and 4 on that paper. Next to number 1, I want you to write resting, just like I do here. And next to 2, 3, and 4, you will write the exercises that you want to do for this experiment. You can use mine, or you can use your own. Maybe you want to do push-ups. Maybe you want to do lunges. That is up to you. All right, now that you've written them down, let's start with our resting heart rate. And there are 3 ways to take this. The first way is to take your 2 fingers and place them on your neck, finding your carotid artery. The second way is to place those 2 fingers on your wrist and find your radial pulse. And the third way is to place your hand or 2 fingers on your heart to find your heartbeat. So pick whichever way works best for you, and we are going to count our heartbeats for 15 seconds, okay? And I will keep that time for you. So find your best way to take your heartbeat, and let's start counting now. Go. And stop. Take that number and write it down on your sheet. Okay, you got your resting heart rate. If you're familiar with multiplication, I want you to take it a step further and multiply that number by 4 so you get your heart rate per minute, since we only took our resting heart rate for 15 seconds. So if you can do the multiplication, do that now. My resting heart rate is 64 beats per minute. And now it's time for the experiment. If you are in middle or high school, I want you to form a hypothesis about our experiment. For me, my hypothesis is that the burpee exercise will produce the largest heart rate for myself. We'll see. So, get ready for your first exercise. Mine is jumping jacks. We'll be doing it for 30 seconds and then taking our heart rate for 15 seconds right after. On your mark, get set, go. let's take our heart rates. Ready, set, go. And stop. And let's get ready for our second exercise. We'll just take a few seconds to catch our breath because we don't want the previous exercise affecting the next one. So, make sure you know your second exercise, make sure you have room. My second one is going to be squats. When you do a squat, you want to put your arms out or above you, just not on your legs, and you want to sit in the chair, heels down, and stand back up. All right, we'll get started in 10 seconds. Exercise number 2. Here we go. And start. Stop. Find your pulse. Let's check our heart rates. Ready, go. And stop. Okay, 2 down, 1 to go. Interesting how my jumping jacks so far have been the highest heart rate, but I still got my burpees to go. If you are also doing burpees, I will show you how to do them while you rest. You are going to squat down, hands to the floor, jump out, jump back, and jump. If you want to make it a little more challenging, do a push-up at the bottom. Just like that, okay? We will start in about 10 seconds. Take your last couple deep breaths. Exercise number 3, 2, 1, here we go. Stop. Woo. Let's check our heart rates and go. And stop. As you can see, with 156 beats per minute, the burpee had by far the largest effect on my heart rate. What about you? Why do you think that exercise had such a great effect on your heart rate versus the other 2 exercises? Thank you so much for joining me today. Again, my name is Mr. Shu. Don't forget to always be active, stay healthy, and I'll see you later.